brought your appetite because today we're having lots of cereal for breakfast, starting with the Fruity Pebbles. It is the scandal that has rocked America, and I don't know if Mom Talk will survive this. Plus, is Marjorie Taylor Greene joining The View? Lots to get into. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. And dive in we shall. But first, before we dive into everything, we did it. We were on a mission to make it Dancing with the Stars great again. And you know what we did? We took Crocodile Sun all the way to the end. Spoiler alert. Crocodile Sun won. Number 1 was Crocodile Sun Robert Irwin, who we were rooting for. Number 2 was Alex Earl, where she belongs. Number 3 was Jordan. Sure, not shocking. Number 4 was Dylan. Okay. And then number 5 naturally was Elaine. The fact that you guys even allowed Elaine to make it to the top 5 is diabolical. But she came and she did some wackadoodle freestyle dance and you clapped for her. And thank God she left at number 5, because if she got any higher than that, I would have rioted. But we did it. Congrats to Robert Irwin. He is following his sister Bindi. And so the Crocodile family is leading the charge. We did it. We voted. We took the power to the polls, and the people have been heard. Isaac said Dylan gave us nothing, and I love that for him. He tried, right? But like, listen, there's only a certain amount of rhythm a white boy can have, and he gave us the most. I'm glad he did Dancing in the Rain. You know, his little toes were flapping around in that water that they had on stage, and he gave us a number. He tried, but we did it. We won. We were successful. We took Crocodile Sun all the way to the end. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. The checks are in the mail. Okay, let's get into... we have a lot to get into, but there's so much of the Fruity Pebbles that we're going to talk about. I think David knows about Fruity Pebbles, but I think Sean is blissfully naive, and I cannot wait to rock his world and see if maybe him and his toxic ex will maybe give the Fruity Pebbles a try. Please welcome David and Sean on the right. Hi, guys.
I can't wait.
I would like to confirm that I have very literally no idea what any of you are talking about.
It's right up your alley, baby.
You're gonna die. Okay. So, do you know about the secret lives of Mormon wives?
No.
Okay. So this is great because there are other people that I'm sure are as, blissfully ignorant as you are. And so we're going to educate you. Okay. We're going to educate America because our education system is failing us. We've eradicated the Department of Education. And so I am going to come to school America right now. Okay. Look at Lisa R in the live chat says, I have no idea about the Fruity Pebbles. So I want everybody to get out their handy dandy notebooks because you need to take notes. Okay. So Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is a groundbreaking reality show that debuted last year on Hulu. Okay. And I want to take a little bit of credit for the success of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because before the show even came out, all of Hulu was trying to get people to interview these women and nobody wanted to interview them. And I was one of the only podcasts that said, yes, absolutely. I love me some Mormon wives. And I said yes to the dress and I had them on the podcast and the show was a success because I was pimping it out on No Filter every day leading up to the premiere. And I believe that my interview was groundbreaking because I got the villain of the show, Whitney Leavitt, who just made it to the semifinals on Dancing with the Stars and sadly did not win. But that's a whole other trajectory that we're not going to get into. Okay. So Secret Lives season 1 airs, groundbreaking. Season 2 comes out, amazing. Okay, but the ladies are always fighting. They're Mormon wives. They don't drink alcohol. They drink lots of soda. They're a little weird. Some of them are swingers. There's always like some sort of scandal that's breaking. Okay, so there are 2 of them. There's Demi and then there's Jesse. And Demi and Jesse are fighting right now. Okay, 2 of the wives. They were the best friends, and now they're not the best friends. They're the mortal enemies right now. And so Demi is like the Blake Lively of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because she has made seemingly, presumably, false allegations of SA against another Hulu star. She said this guy grabbed he grabbed her private parts is what she's alleging. Hulu has since come out and all the other cast members have come out and they're all denying it. Hulu said they reviewed all the footage and based off of their investigation and reviewing of all the footage, her claims are unsubstantiated. So they're saying that they don't have any evidence of her claims, and Marciano, the guy she's accusing of, is denying it. Okay. She's making herself look like a hot mess. There's also a scene from season 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives where Demi is like fighting with the other girls, and then one of the guys comes up to her and he's like, "Where's your husband?" And he like taps her with his finger like that. And then her story is that he shoved her and he put his hands on her. So she's known to misrepresent things on the show. So people already know that she exaggerates things, so nobody believes the essay allegations. Now, this is a long way of getting to the Fruity Pebbles. In season 1, there was an inside joke. Okay. And one of the other women, Whitney, presented Demi with a box of Fruity Pebbles. And it was an inside joke, and only they knew what it was about. But like the audience was like really confused as to what the Fruity Pebbles was. But apparently it was something that she did with her husband. And so everybody was like, what does that mean? What is Fruity Pebbles? Does he put Fruity Pebbles in her coochie and he eats the Fruity Pebbles out of her coochie? Like everybody was trying to figure out what the Fruity Pebbles meant. Well, now that Mom Talk has been rocked and Jessie and Demi are fighting, Jessie finally went on Instagram and she did a mic drop moment, and she said, boom, I'm telling you what Fruity Pebbles really means. So everybody has a lemonade stand. Okay, Sean, they have a lemonade stand between their legs. And so the lemonade stand produces lemonade, right? When you have lemons and you have to squeeze the lemons to get rid of the juice in the lemons, you use your lemonade stand to dispose of your lemons and lemonade in the bathroom, right? Or you pick it up.
Okay, got it. Yep. Picking it up.
Yep. So Demi has a lemonade stand, and apparently, according to Jessie, Demi likes to make lemonade that her husband likes to drink.
Ah.
And apparently, Fruity Pebbles is what her lemonade tastes like.
Okay, I didn't know that part.
Oh, you didn't know that part? Well, because she was like, this is what happens. Jessie was like, this is what it means. Grandpa Brett, Demi's husband, likes to drink her lemonade. And obviously lemonade is a different term, but she claims that, Brett likes to drink Demi's lemonade. She specifically said he likes to drink it like a dirty soda. And so then, because Sean, dirty soda is so because they don't drink alcohol, they have sodas and then they put flavors in the sodas and different
things,
right? And cream. Yes. And cream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, I have seen these. There actually is a Mormon family that moved to my hometown and opened up one of these dirty soda places. Yes, I've seen this.
Is this the pisser?
Jessie, no, this is Jessie. She's the one that blew the lid on Demi. And so this is the video because everybody's talking about Demi because of the seemingly fake essay allegations. And then Demi came out and she's just like, Jessie wishes everybody was talking about her, but nobody's talking about her. And she's like, I'm not jealous of people talking about me saying that I made fake allegations against Marciano. She's like, but if you're going to drag me into this, then here you go. Here's the piss. And she came out with it.
Wait. So that I understand, the girl who is on the screen right now?
Jessie. She's the whistleblower.
So the whistleblower.
The pistol blower.
The pistol blower. Come on.
Is she the one who made the essay allegations?
No, that's Demi. Demi, the one who feeds her pee to her husband.
Got it. Okay.
She's the one that made. Yeah. So she's the one.
Right now she's facing. Right now, everyone is like, you lied about this essay allegation, and then the ex-best friend came out and is like, and I'm going to tell everyone your secret about your lemonade.
Yeah, because she's kind of like spiraling that everybody's questioning her story. So she's doing shots fired, and the other ladies are like, whoa, we're not trying to catch strays. So if you're going to come at us, let's go, baby. Let's go. So then, and so the world was shooketh, right? Because they're like, what? Is this true? Jessie said that Demi likes to feed her husband her lemonade. And like, obviously, like golden showers are a thing, right? Where you take a shower in the lemonade, right? Because it's a thing. And so, but also some people are like, ooh, but like pour your shower in my mouth. And then some people swallow, and that's the thing. But
I swear, the Mormons, like, for all the years that they are, like, sexually repressed, they really get their time in once they leave their parents' house, because that's crazy.
Well, it is crazy.
This is the guy. This is the guy who drinks the lemonade.
Yes, that's her husband, Brett, who's like 40 years older than her. So then you would so you're like, whoa, what is Demi going to respond? You're thinking Demi's going to send a cease and desist. You think Demi's going to come out and say, Jesse, you're such a liar. Shut your mouth. Something to that effect. Well, Demi then decides to go on her Instagram story and she posts this message, Sean. It says, what me and my husband did one time behind closed doors was a consensual and private experience in our marriage. I won't let a private act between my husband and I be a distraction, be a distraction
from a serious act.
From a serious act that I did not consent to. I shared this information with Jessie in confidence nearly 2 years ago. It's very telling that she's choosing to break storyline and bring it up now, only after her own affair has come to light. This is nothing more than a desperate attempt to shift attention away from her own behavior. So she's confirming that Grandpa Brett does like to drink her lemonade on a hot summer day.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Can we go back to the picture of them, though?
Okay, I knew you were going to say something out of pocket, Sean, as soon as
He
I
is
saw
hot.
him. He is hot, but don't finish that sentence.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Would you give him your lemonade?
I would probably give him my lemonade if he wanted it. If he asked.
Mom, please change the channel. Please change the channel. Mom,
hold
turn off
on.
the TV.
Here's the difference, though. There's the pitcher and the receiver, right? There's the one running the lemonade stand, and then there's the one purchasing the lemonade. I think that there's a difference. I think if you're the one behind the stand selling the lemonade, but like if you're the one drinking the lemonade, that's like I draw the line there. But then also think about it. Like if you feed your man your lemonade, like are you making out with him after that? Because then you're kind of drinking your own lemonade, Yeah,
there's a lot to think about there. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, like he can have it if that's what he wants.
He's a good type. And then Sean, you should watch the show because
we don't deserve rights. I said it. We don't deserve them. We don't. Lock us up. Okay? We don't. Trump, are you listening?
Revoke them right now. So I mean, he's doing the thing. But okay, so here's the other question though. If you did this, would you be telling your friends?
No, I would die with that secret. Are you are you serious? I wouldn't be able to acknowledge it to myself after it happened, or you can much less tell any other soul about it. If I did, I would have to kill them and myself right afterwards. No. The only reason that would happen is if I had stumbled into some kind of Epstein/Diddy-esque party, okay, and I end up drugged in some room and someone has a video of something like that, which then in turn I would kill myself in a jail cell. But you guys, no. What? Stop. Change the channel, Mom. I don't belong here.
Okay, so then there's the telling other people about it, but then once it becomes public, then why? I'm just confused by the admission of what me and my husband did one time behind closed doors was a consensual and private experience in our marriage. To own it is wow.
That is wild.
Christina said she's taking it to her grave.
And him and
would you own it if somebody else called you out? Would you just own it and be like, yeah, my husband likes my pee?
If I was a Mormon wife that had a reality show, probably, because what are your other options? If it was me, myself, and I, no. Again, I would go to the first option, which is kill myself.
You can lie and deny.
Yeah, that part. I'd be like, it was literally... Yeah, it was literally a lemonade stand.
I'd be like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Did you just fall out of a coconut tree? What are you saying? I pee in my husband's mouth.
That's crazy. That sounds like some Clinton dossier. We don't believe those kinds of conspiracies around
what
here.
In the Epstein? No. What in the Epstein files are you talking about? I would be like, you're crazy. I would deny it. I'd be like, you're crazy. Why
Yeah,
would I
so-
be like, yeah, I pee in his mouth? Like, that's wild to just be like, listen, it happened. Also, I don't believe it happened one time. If it happened one time, you know, and it tasted like Fruity Pebbles, you know, he's waking up for breakfast every morning. He's like, it tastes like Fruity Pebbles. I'm thirsty. Give me some more. You know, he's Britney Spears. Give me more.
I hate you. Oh, it's too
Call
early.
me
I
a
don't
Mars.
know. I don't know that I would. I plead the fifth. Would I disclose something like that to a friend, to a very close friend? Yeah, probably. Like, and
You
then
would probably tell us. You'd be like, yeah, so last night me and so had some
Yeah,
fun.
whether we wanted to hear it or not, you would definitely tell us.
You literally tell us so much already.
Yeah. You're like, guess what I did 13 minutes ago? Guess who just left? Soaking wet.
no,
So
not
gross.
not me getting called out. No, I don't. I probably would disclose something like that to a close friend. Yeah, and then for the now the other question is, when it comes out publicly, what do you do about that? I don't know. Like, there's no way to prove that this happened, so there's really no need for the admission.
Yeah,
Sean
there was no
Run.
need for the admission.
There was no need for the admission because there's no way that that they're going to prove it unless there's like some text message or something of them talking about it. But I guess, like, kind of, if you did and there is evidence of you talking about it or something, might as well own up to it. I mean, or
Well, there's
just
no evidence
don't
other
say
than your
anything.
word. There's no evidence under her word against her word.
I would
But
just
is there a
kinda-
text message? Like, is there a text joking about Fruity Pebble that like hasn't been released yet? And
Well,
so
also,
she knows.
she's going balls to the wall saying that she was assaulted by this guy and saying that she was shoved by this other guy, and the footage so far has proven to be the exact opposite.
I
So
would
even
just,
when there is evidence, she still stands 10 toes down to validate her lies. But of all the things to be truthful about this one,
I would just get into advocacy. You know what I mean? Be like, golden showers deserve rights and respect just like anybody else in our country. And I would probably call it discrimination. And then you get a book deal, Oprah, Ellen, do the talk show circuit. You know what I mean? I feel like that. And then run for Congress
smart.
on a piss platform. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Fruity Pebbles has now spoken.
No. Like the guy himself? Or no, her. Oh, Fruity
no, the
Pebbles.
cereal brand.
David. Good morning, David. Welcome.
I don't know what
Welcome
these
to the
mornings
podcast.
The
Thanks for
Fruity
having me.
Pebbles cereal brand has spoken out and they've commented publicly saying, now this is just awkward. LOL. Now, I wasn't able to authenticate the screenshot that has been going around on X only because this guy, I think his name is Jordy. For some reason, he has me blocked on all social media, so I wasn't able to actually like view his video.
What did you do?
Nothing. I was myself, is what I did, David. I was just myself. And sometimes being yourself and drinking
enough.
lemonade is too much for some people.
But it tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
See, but like if it tastes good, then like would you?
Zack,
I don't know. But
no.
then,
Stop.
but no, I would not. Like, let me be very. Let the record reflect. I don't think I would do that. I actually no. I with full confidence can say I would not do that.
Wow.
But just. And other people were saying, does that mean that she's diabetic if her pee is sweet? And then people were lecturing me, or not lecturing me, but they were enlightening me and letting me know that I guess doctors taste patients' pee to see if it's sweet. So then they determine whether or not they're diabetic.
No,
Girl,
wait, what?
bye.
No,
Is that not
no,
a thing?
that's definitely not a thing. But they do have like meters that can that test the sweetness of things.
How does the meter taste? Does the meter have taste buds?
I don't know. All that I know is that there is a study that was done about pineapple and men and the consumption of pineapple and how, well, let's change this up. Maybe it's instead of a lemonade stand, it's a
ice cream stand.
milkshake stand or a milkshake stand. And
why is it milky? Why is it cloudy?
Okay, we need to Oh, I can't.
Well, it's they sell lemonade and they
Oh,
sell
and
lemonade
protein
and
shakes.
milkshakes. Yeah, protein shakes. There we go. And the test, like the scientific study, the way that they measured the effect of pineapple on this was using this device that measured the sweetness of things.
It was a twink. It was a twink that went around tasting and he's just
Interesting.
This one's better.
But so I definitely can confirm that doctors are not like sipping their patients' lemonade to test the sweetness.
Ann
What
says,
about
as
their
a former
milkshakes, though?
nurse, this is not done in healthcare fields. They had to have been messing with you. Well, it wasn't me. It was the internet. They told me in my comments that the doctors used to do that. And so I didn't know.
I'm sure that's what she told her husband, too. She's like, no, doctors do this all the time, babe.
All the
Just drink.
No, that's what he told her.
Yeah, I know, babe. I just want to make sure you don't have
I
diabetes.
just want to make sure you're not diabetic. But also, no, there is science to the pineapple thing. That's why Kourtney Kardashian came out with the lollipops for your coochie. Did you see that?
You stick them in your coochie?
I did not see that. And no,
You didn't know
I
about
thought it was
the coochie lollipops?
It's like a candy plug for their Puswana. What is it?
No, you eat it.
Oh, like an actual lollipop. Okay.
Yeah.
I was imagining like a tampon lollipop.
It's called a Lemmy Purr lollipop.
Lemmy Purr. I didn't know Kourtney got down like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Thank and her box munched on.
formulated with pineapple vitamin C and S&Z
Probiotics.
1969 probiotics. Huh. Interesting.
Is it for men and women or just Armenian ladies?
I'm sure everyone can try it.
Okay.
And they're exclusively available at Target, in case you were wondering. So, I mean, listen, I know Sean doesn't seem to have ruled it out.
Sean's the wrong person to ask these kinds of questions. Okay.
Well, I think this is hysterical because this is the team that I used to be on at Target when I was on this team. And so I know exactly. No,
the Lemmy team or the Lemonade team?
No, the OTC, the healthcare team. And I know exactly who rolled these out, and I think that it's good for them. Props. I'll text them after this, probably a clip of this, to say good job on securing the exclusivity deal. But no, I think they make a supplement for men that is like the equivalent of 12 pineapples in one like thing or whatever.
Wait, so it works for men too?
How have you never heard this?
Yeah, pineapples.
I've heard it for women, but I didn't know that it worked for men too. Well, because the whole point is so that when you're munching cooch, it tastes sweet. Like you're not munching on an eggplant.
Again, protein shakes. Like, how do we change the flavor of the protein shake?
Is that a thing that... So what are the different flavors? What are our options?
Do you like pina colada?
No, I think it really is just like it adjusts the sweetness level, evidently.
It adjusts the pH.
It makes it less salty and more sweet.
Oh, but what if you like salty? What if you're like, dirty martini?
Get some kettle corn. Get some kettle corn.
Dirty martini, I'm dying. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a little sweet treat is something, It's not really a savory experience for me.
We have a Bible study after this because I'm feeling like this was intense.
Very intense. Okay, any closing thoughts to Pebble-Gate?
I will say, the next time I talk about Fruity Pebbles, I want it to have to do with like milk and breakfast. Okay, that would be lovely. They need some milk, is what I want to say. That's what I'm leaving it with.
Like milk from cows or milk from your husband?
Jesus, from the cows. Or from the oats.
I will find the I will find the supplement for men. I've gotten ads about it, interestingly enough, on Instagram. So when I find the supplement, I will do this podcast a favor, and I will purchase the supplement and
then we'll do a taste test.
find find a volunteer to do a taste test. Before and after, we'll rank it, and we'll come back and we'll let you know if it works.
Wow. Do like a daily taste test. Like, okay, 1 week
On
check
day
in.
1.
Yeah.
Please stand by. I'm screaming. This is hysterical. Yeah, no, that's my closing thoughts. I think that we should test it. We'll find a volunteer. Maybe if you're in the comments or watching this live and you would like to volunteer, please DM me.
Christina has volunteered me. Oh, wait, everyone's now saying David's name. Are you laughing at David, or are you saying that David will be the volunteer?
I think they're laughing at me. Don't put that on me.
Ah.
Thank you. Plus, by the time you mail it, it'll probably dry up. You know, it'll be a cracker.
You have to turn it into a powder and then add water.
Rehydrate it.
Oh, reconstitute.
It's the new cowboy colostrum.
I'm dying. That's great. Yep, that's
okay,
it.
we'll
let you know.
We'll take a quick ad break, and then we'll get into more of the Marjorie Taylor Greene of it all, because crazy. With the holiday season finally here, we have Thanksgiving this weekend, and not only that, but we're gonna have a whole season of holiday parties and festive get-togethers. And you know that when the season heats up, the sugary drinks add up too. And this season, I'm going to be opting for Soul's Out of Office gummies instead. Same vibe, low in calories, and 0 sugar, right? Because we know that the holiday season can be a bit stressful. We have endless shopping, travel, parties every weekend. Well, this is the perfect balance of CBD and THC that'll help me, or that helps you, because it helps me find my calm and keep my peace of mind. Soul is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Soul specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. With 5 different strengths, you can tailor your dose to fit your vibe, from a gentle 1.5 microdose to their newest 15 milligram gummy for an even more elevated experience. I'm somewhere in the middle. I stick with my blue raspberry 3 milligram gummies, and it's perfect. I had one last night and I slept like a baby. So if you want to give them a try, check them out. They also have out-of-office beverages, which are a refreshing alcohol-free alternative. Perfect for winding down on the couch or socializing with the fam this holiday season. But take advantage right now of Soul's Black Friday Cyber Monday deal for a limited time. Okay, limited time. Get 40% off your entire order. Go to getsoul.com and use the code NOFILTER. That's getsoul, SOUL, getsoul.com, promo code NOFILTER for 40% off. That's crazy. 40% off. Go right now. Don't miss their best deal of the year. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get to it. I know that we can do it. Okay. Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was just on The View, and since her appearance on The View, she has announced that she will be departing from Congress. Thoughts, feelings, vibes. Are you excited to see her go? Are you excited to see her next career move? People are speculating that she's going to be joining The View, and this was kind of like her audition, because The View needs more real conservative voices. David, what do you think?
I don't know, to be honest, from the last, because she's been doing the rounds recently, you know, and the vibe that I get, I think she's aiming higher than that. I think she's still going to plan on running for office, maybe looking for a VP slot or something. I think the View thing is a distraction to
Really?
justify her leaving office. Oh yeah, for sure, because she's kind of like, what's happened now with like the fracturing of MAGA is that like she's kind of become one of those people that people feel like they can trust to like carry on the torch of what they feel like MAGA is, kind of like Tucker-esque. And she's going to feel like she has a lot of people behind her. And I think she's going to want to alchemize that into more than just an audience. I think she's going to want to alchemize that into a constituency or a voter base. And I feel like she wants to take her brand national, which I don't blame her for. I do think it was a mistake for Trump to to axe her that harshly, considering she was probably one of his most loyal critics. Do I agree with everything Marjorie Taylor Greene says? No. But she does have like an earnestness about her. And she's even doing the left wing talking circuit too. So that's what kind of clues me in that she's looking to broaden her appeal and potential base and look at running nationally, because that's what you have to do. You have to kind of broaden out your appeal if you decide to take your campaign beyond the state level or the congressional level. And I know she wants to take it national. So I say snaps, to her. I hope that this doesn't get so toxic where it's like they're sending
Snap
kill shots
benefits?
back and forth. Huh?
Snap benefits?
Yes, snap benefits. Exactly, Marjorie. Get your snaps. But I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into a total bloodbath where they like, kill shot each other and then it's like, damn, because a lot of people are feeling what Marjorie's felt with how Trump handled the Epstein files originally, because no matter what he does now, he did originally say, are people still talking about that? Really? This is a Democrat hoax,
He called it a
and
hoax,
that's
yeah.
not going to sit well with, most MAGA people.
Nope. Because his campaign was about transparency. Sean?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think that David's, I don't know that I have a very strong opinion on this, because 9 times out of 10, like, people are acting and doing things in the background. And to David's point, I mean, David sees a strategy here. I don't necessarily know that I see that strategy. David's analysis makes sense, though. I think that what I could say is that she has consistently voted and stood on points that have the best intention of the American people. I don't think that she is one who has been, what do I want to say, like, co-opted or swayed by lobbyists or donor groups. I'm pretty sure she ran her entire campaign on small dollar donations. I think that a lot of times, though, in both sides, but mostly in the Republican Party, we have a hard time because we are principled. The right tends to, in my opinion, be more principled than the left. The left will come together, rally, and vote how the party wants to vote, versus the right will say, I'm principled in this belief and I'm not going to do that, even if it obstructs the progress of the party. And I think that when that happens, leaders within the GOP tend to fire off at those people. There are a few of them, like Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't the only one. There are a few of them who are like, yeah, no, I'm not voting on that. Because from a principled standpoint, I don't believe in, I'm making it up, omnibus bills. So I've always appreciated her ability to stand up and remain principled. I don't know where her next, career move is, but I hope that, I think that we need more people like that in politics. So I hope that she isn't just throwing in the towel and walking away. But that's definitely kind of the message that she sent, was like, this is currently, it's irredeemable. And if and when DC wants to change how it's operating, I'm happy to come back. But I think we need more people like that in politics, not less.
But does that actually help her mission to be like, I don't like the way you guys are running this, I'm out? Like, wouldn't it be better to stay in and fight the fight?
Yeah, like that. And yes, at the same time, though, I think it can be exhausting to be one of the people who's constantly under pressure to get in line and vote the way that they vote, right? Like, this is the way that I see it, is when the Democrats come out to vote, they have behind closed doors already rallied all the troops and everyone is in line, and anyone who has an issue leaves it behind closed doors and they go and they vote the way that the party wants to vote. And I think that must be exhausting to have to do over and over again, and then to be beaten, not physically beaten, but like from a media perspective, be beaten to death by everyone and everyone on X and Twitter who wants to comment on it, and have Trump, coming after her as well, has got to be like, oh, well, why am I doing this? Like, why? I'm kind of exhausted of being brutally beaten every day for being principled. So I think perhaps it's kind of exhausting.
And she's taken so many hits on behalf of Trump. So I feel like beyond it being like super demoralizing for Trump to come at her first, it must also feel like a little bit of a betrayal for sure. And I think that Trump is getting some bad advice, honestly. I think that some people have gotten to his ear that feel like they have redefined what MAGA is. And they verbatim have told him that MAGA is whatever you say it is. And I'm hoping that doesn't go to his head, because no, it's not. MAGA actually does have principled stances like no war, America first, close the border. So if he's getting advice that he is just the king and anything he says will go, unfortunately that might go to his head a little bit. I mean, it is Trump, and I love him. I voted for him. If I had to vote again, I would still vote for him. But I feel like we have to be super honest about what's actually going on. It's a shame that it's less than a year into his presidency and there's so many things to already be disappointed about, but there's also a lot of things to be happy about. So I'm definitely not a black pillar. I'm not doom and gloom, but the Marjorie fight with him is disappointing, because I see it as another battle, or like another wave in this attack from the rhinos and the neocons and neoliberals to attack like an autoimmune response, to attack anything that is a threat to them. And I put this in the exact same camp, just in a different way, of the attacks on Tucker and on Candace. And there is a struggle of definition happening right now. And I think that a lot of people are scrambling to be like, no, this is what the party is, this is how people are going to vote, and this is what the movement is, because of all the loss we've experienced with Charlie, because of what's fractured, because of what's happened with Epstein, etc. People are searching for leaders. They're searching for what's like the next step. And it would be huge for Trump to do something like he did with, I know this is a subject we're going to talk about, but something like he did with Mamdani on a human level, with people that have been his supporters and have been at his back the entire time, So like, I feel bad for Marge, because I feel like she must feel like she's betrayed. She was like his most ardent supporter, and I mean, he got her elected, but still.
The last thing that I would say on this is that as a party, we have always, I should say not we, but like the right has always been, I mean, the epitome of what Charlie Kirk stood for was more voices, more opinions, more debate. And I don't care. And so what I don't like to see is what is happening right now on the right, with people like Candace, with people like MTG, where the louder voices and what you're seeing echoed on X, which we have to remember is not actually reality. Like this is not real. And so the loudest voices on X this isn't always correct, but like the people who are anti-Candace, whether you believe her, I do not hold a strong position on this personally, but I don't understand why people just won't let her do what she wants to do. Like, we have always been the party of let people say more. And if she makes an idiot out of herself, then she makes an idiot out of herself. Like, get up on stage and debate her then. And that has always been like, we've been principled with that like forever. So I don't understand that the silencing and like, we can't platform these people and da 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 da. I don't like that. I've always been, and I think that we should have more voices. And that's similar to kind of what MTG is facing also, with this just like silence her. What she's saying is, she's a traitor, go away. I'm very against that, I would say. Like, let people have their points of view and their opinions, debate them if they're wrong, and prove them wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Candace is like a really polarizing topic in our culture right now. I think the hard part with Candace, I try to understand, or I try to at least look at it through the lens of she's somebody that's grieving, and she's somebody that's hurting, and she's somebody that wants answers. But I also think she's being very reckless in some of the information that she's putting out there, that's very heavy on the conjecture rather than on the factual basis, right? Like and one thing that she's always been very good about is doing deep dives and finding evidence and building a strong case. But what I see with her right now is it is very reckless, and she's putting a lot of stuff out there that she's hoping she can throw at the wall and find something that sticks, that doesn't have that same root in evidence. We don't know. The Charlie Kirk stuff is still so new, and it's still so developing. And the fact that she has such conviction and some of the things that she's putting out on the internet, I think are challenging because she's putting other people's lives at risk by making really big allegations that they were involved in some sort of cover-up conspiracy. Even with the, what I see happening to Erica Kirk, I think is horrible, not just with Candace, but the fact that she then rallies people to think that Erica Kirk may have in some way been complicit in the assassination of her husband, and then to, implicate that there's possibly some sort of nefarious relationship between Erica and JD Vance. Like, it's all so heavy in conjecture, and I think in a way also very dangerous. If there was actual evidence that could connect Erica to something, I think that would be different, and I would be more willing to hear that out. But when you're saying that Erica didn't respond the way that you think that she should respond when she gets a phone call for her husband being assassinated, I think that that becomes a really murky water that you then dabble in. And if we had just given this a little more time, waited for things to come out a little bit more, because listen, I was questioning a lot of the Charlie Kirk stuff at the beginning as well. And I think there are reasons and legitimate questions to ask, but there also needs to be a grace period of like, well, let's see how this plays out. Let's ask questions, but let's just be a little more frugal with some of the allegations that we put out there, especially knowing how passionate her fandom can get.
So, but the one thing though is that what I see a lot of is people taking what Candace says, and because the point about her pointing to Erica Kirk,
did she?
Megyn Kelly, she never did. Like, this was, but so this is what I see happens. Candace does her thing, and let's be honest. Like, if I'm being frank, because I'm defending her right here in this argument, but like, if I'm being honest, she's very vague with some of the things that she says, and so people take this vague statement that she makes, or a lot of times it's not even a statement. A lot of times it's a vague assumption, inclination, question, whatever, and then they take it and they run with it. So you have Ben Shapiro on stage with Megyn Kelly demanding that Megyn Kelly denounce Candace Owens for saying that Erica Kirk played a role, and Megyn Kelly is like, did she say that? And Ben Shapiro's like, yes, she said that Erica Kirk had some level of involvement or knowledge. And then you have Megyn Kelly having to come back out and being like, yeah, no, I went through everything. Candace never said that. But on stage, Ben Shapiro's like, Candace said this. So you have Candace who runs this podcast that is kind of vague, and she is throwing stuff at the wall because she's pulling people through this investigation that she's doing in real time. And she's saying, these are the things. And I don't know what it means, but I think it's weird. And the entire time, her premise when she first started this thing with Charlie Kirk was, there are two people that could possibly get me to stop doing what I'm doing. Erica Kirk and my husband. That's it. And like, I had to go and fact check when Ben Shapiro said that on stage to Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly was like, what? So you have people who take things that Candace says, twist them into a narrative that is not what Candace said. And then everyone on the internet is like, how could she do this?
Yes, I think but she's intentionally vague for this exact reason. She's intentionally
and I admit
to plant a seed, and then when the seed is planted, she can be like, well, that's not what I said. I didn't actually say that. I may have dropped the crumbs to lead you in this direction, but you went to that direction. She's a very smart woman. She's very intelligent. Yes. She knows how passionate her audience is, and she knows that they're going to rally for her, whatever she says. Right. But the thing is, she plants the seed and then lets her audience or other people let the internet water that seed, and then it grows, and she can be like, well, I didn't plant the plant. I didn't add the water.
And I am threw the seeds
out there. And she kind of does that. And I think that's where it becomes dangerous.
I'm just asking questions. Yes. I'm just asking questions. And I get that, and I admit to that.
Yeah. But I think
we all have to agree, though. We have to agree, though, that she didn't point to Erica Kirk. Like,
no, she didn't.
She didn't say those exact words. No, David, go ahead.
But the thing I think we need to acknowledge too is that, and this is something that I'd acknowledge within myself, is that when we talk about like giving grace period and everything, I think all of us did give grace period. And what happened was that people started coming out and started talking about Charlie's legacy way before any sort of grace period, before his body was even cold. People were out there promoting their book, saying, oh, this is essentially what Charlie died for. So that put a really bad taste in people's mouth. It's like, we're not allowed to even like look into this because we're giving grace, but you're allowed to like take his legacy and name and run with it and sell hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merch based on it and like get put on all these shows and raise your own self up off the death of someone you allegedly cared about so much. So I think that put a bad taste in people's mouth, because as much as like the investigation into it seemed haphazard and rushed and we're all traumatized and emotional also, like that's a traumatizing thing to experience, you know? I think a lot of us were grossed out by how quickly some people claiming to be super close to him came out with their agenda immediately. I mean, literally the day of promoting their book in the same tweet that they acknowledged Charlie's death, which is among the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. Josh Hammer. Sorry, I don't want to mention names. Josh Hammer.
So how is that then different then from someone like Candace, who is saying that this is on a crusade for truth? Meanwhile, she's on her Instagram saying, I have an exclusive. I have an exclusive. I have an exclusive. She drives everybody to her show, drives up the ratings, pushes her advertisements, and you can make the same argument that she's capitalizing the same way. She's not selling a book, but she's in the name of Charlie Kirk fighting for the truth. And listen, I don't feel one way or another towards Candace. I'm just, as we're having this conversation, I always like to play devil's advocate. And it's like, you can arguably say that Candace Owens is doing the exact same thing as the people that are shelling their books or making merch or dropping a rap song about Charlie Kirk. Everybody's profiting off of it. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, arguably, you could say the same thing about me. The difference about me, though, is when I did episodes, even the episode that we all did together after that, those episodes did not have any advertisements. I pulled all advertisements so that there were no ads that ran on that. Because to me, in my own ethics and morals, it felt gross to do an episode dedicated towards remembering somebody that was assassinated in front of the entire country, while also being like, okay, guys, let's do a Soul CBD ad. Like, I couldn't do that. And I didn't want automatic advertising on any of those episodes either, because to me, it just didn't feel right.
And
I think that's a valid criticism. Yeah, I think it's a valid criticism. Like, I was one of the first that tweeted that I thought that anyone who posted the video of Charlie of the actual shooting on X should have been demonetized. Like, that post should not be monetized at all. Like, and it also should have had a graphic warning on it, like immediately. The people who posted it without it, like, it is what it is. But
and especially knowing half those accounts aren't even based in the US, those like MAGA accounts that were sharing all that stuff, that makes it extra gross. It's like, now
that we can see, and half of them are all based in India and they're bot farms, whatever. But yeah, like, I think that's a valid criticism. I know that she did pull she pulled the ads. There were no ads on her like remembrance video that she posted on him. And I do think in general, like, yeah, to your point, she's running ads on her show. She's sharing exclusives that she has. I don't know, I mean, Turning Point raised so much money in the hours and days after. I think that it is just part of being in the political realm and political commentating. I'm not sure. I mean, valid criticism.
I mean, it's part of capitalism in our country, right? Like, you're not going to turn away an opportunity to make money. But I'm just saying, if you're going to criticize somebody for pushing their book, you also have to hold that same weight to someone like Candace Owens that's doing a brand new show about this every day and going on her Instagram story and say, bombshell new exclusive. I have a 20-year-old that sent me an email that's, the smoking gun that's going to blow the lid on this case. Obviously, that's hyperbole, and I'm not quoting it directly, but I'm just saying that's the cadence that she often promotes her show with. And again, I have watched Candace Owens. I have, I've agreed with her on some things. I haven't agreed with her on some things. I just think the criticism across the board should hold the same weight. And I'm not trying to tell anybody not to watch her. If you like her, please continue to watch her and support her. But just make sure when you're watching these people, you watch with a critical lens. Even when people watch me, I tell people not to look at me as the authority, whether it's, something more of a heavier cultural topic or something as silly as Fruity Pebbles. Like, don't take me as the absolute word, but just make sure that the information you're consuming is something that you're analyzing with a critical lens, and you're not a loyalist to one person or even one party. Be open.
Yes.
And I think, that was the point that we were making earlier, which allows space for Candace Owens to be able to share her opinions and have her show, and not shut her or Marjorie Taylor Greene out of the conversation because we maybe don't like them. And that's what I disliked about Sunny on The View, who was like, I didn't want to have Marjorie on the show because I don't believe that we should platform somebody like that. But it's like, but you have a show called The View that's supposed to represent multiple different voices of women here in America, and yet you don't want to platform somebody because what she doesn't fully agree with your dogma. It's crazy.
And the moment that they got her on the show, it was hysterical. I watched it live, and I think it might have been Sunny. I don't remember who goes, I feel like the woman who's sitting next to me is a totally different person than the Marjorie Taylor Greene that I know from the internet and from the media. She came straight out and said it. It's like, well, when you actually sit down with people and you can have conversations, 9 times out of 10, we agree on more than we disagree on.
Yeah.
And so I think that to the point of where we were going with this originally is like more voices, not less. And silencing people really doesn't, first of all, we've talked about it before on this podcast, it has the opposite effect. It amplifies the voice by 100 times when you try and silence them. But more voices, not less, more debate, not less. And that's how we get to, best case scenarios. We debate ideas and concepts.
One last thing on what we were talking about with Candace is that I think an important piece of context is like the subject matter that was being discussed. And that's what got people so hyped up and everything, because obviously Charlie's opinion on what's going on in the Middle East is huge for how influential he was. There were a lot of information coming out that he may have been changing some of his opinions. So then when people posthumously telling everyone that basically he was a crusader for the Middle East, that's going to put a bad taste in people's mouth, because it's almost diametrically opposed to Charlie's last words, essentially. So I think that's what kind of put, but you're absolutely right. Everyone was monetizing. Everyone was like coming up on this, and that's a total fair criticism. But yeah, I just think the subject matter is definitely something that got people fired up too, because obviously it's super controversial.
For sure. Amy says, just wanted the three of you to know that the joy and laughter you bring to my life every week is something I'll forever be grateful for with how my year has been. Thank you for all being who you are.
Oh, love
Thank you,
Amy.
Amy.
Mwah. Thank you,
last
Amy. That
story.
made my day.
Thank you, Amy. Last story that I want to close out with is Karoline Leavitt, press secretary for the White House. Love her. Love all the TikToks of people when they parody her. Those are always really fun. But I guess her sister-in-law, or not her sister-in-law, but the mother of her brother's baby has been detained by ICE. And so now people are calling her out, being like, now your family has been affected by these ICE raids. Her name is Bruna Ferreira. And she has an 11-year-old son with Michael, who is Caroline's brother. And so she has been detained, I believe, a couple weeks. She was arrested a couple weeks ago. She's currently being detained by ICE. They claim that she's originally from Brazil. She was born in Brazil, but she was brought over to here in 1999 when she was young. And she had I think a temporary visa that has since expired. I believe it expired back in 99. And they claim that she has been here illegally. She claims, or her attorney is claiming, that she had DACA protections. And so now she's currently in the process of being deported. But yeah, her it says she had a B2 tourist visa and that expired, and she was required to deport from the US in June of 1999. So that's what, 15, 16 years ago?
26 years ago.
26 years ago.
26 years
Yeah.
ago.
20, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still 2008 to me, so don't even worry.
No, math is not my strong suit. I don't do. They also claim that she had some sort of battery arrest. Her attorney says that she has no criminal record, and was supposed to be protected under DACA, but apparently she has had trouble gaining citizen status.
So this is just to clarify, it's her brother's child, but the child her brother's child's mom.
Yes.
But her brother is not still with this woman who is deported. He had him and his wife. Custody. Yes, they have full custody of the child. So this woman, though, in my opinion, had how many years? 26 years? 26 years to go through the process of making sure that you had legal status here. I mean, what was stopping you?
Yeah. Listen, I agree. I have a lot of some personal experience with immigration. I translated for an immigration attorney a few years ago because they speak Russian, and the process is ungodly, especially if you try to do it right, which I'm not saying that gives you an excuse to cross over or anything like that. But what's happening now with the ICE raids, unfortunately, is that they're going off the wrong people, because they're going off of people that actually are on records and have started businesses, where at some point had their visas or anything like that, or even if it's like a small business thing that isn't correct, but they have all their other papers lined up, they can get in trouble for that too. And they're going off that because they already have them in the system. Instead, the people that everyone's most concerned about are the ones that aren't in the system, aren't in any kind of system, just pop up when it comes to taking resources in specifically public schools. That's the biggest drain of immigration. It's billions and billions of dollars we spend on illegal immigrants in education. That's our highest cost for them. And that's crappy. And a big part of it, I feel like what they're doing is they're kind of using a chainsaw when you should be using a pocket knife or a scalpel. They're getting rid of some people. Like one of my close personal friends, he's started a business. He's employs multiple people. He's a young Russian guy, has started multiple businesses here. He got a deportation order since Trump came in and all of that. He's like exactly the type of immigrant we do want here, even politically. And he had to spend $10,000 to an immigration lawyer just to extend his court date another 2 years so he can have legal stay here for 2 years. So a lot of this has become a little bit of a legal racket too. A lot of these lawyers are just making ungodly amounts of money for nothing. Our immigration process needs to be much more simplified, because it doesn't actually benefit us getting less immigrant. What's happening is let's say the lowest, whatever, some of the people that we don't want in our country are the ones that are avoiding everything because they can't get through that system. And then we're going after the people that have tried to go through the system, or at least in the system already. So a part of it's because they're already there, so you can find them easier. So they're like, okay, we have their address, we have their workplace, whatever, let's go after them. But overall, what's going to happen is it's going to put a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to deportations. We don't want to see videos of babies getting ripped from mothers' arms in a Walmart parking lot, especially if you support mass deportation, because that's going to turn the public against it completely. So I feel like they need to get a lot smarter with the optics on this, because we don't want it to look like, taking people to camps and all of that. And I'm super, super pro assimilation. I feel like we can do a 10-year moratorium on immigration, frankly, but we should be going after the right people. Not every person that we deport is going to be a win for what we're trying to do, honestly. And then it's going to turn more and more people against it.
Yeah, I think the challenge with that, though, is, I mean, there are layers to this conversation. People want to be like, it's human rights versus, holding up the law. And I feel like it's not as black and white as people want to make it, right? Because I do think that there are a lot of people that are unfortunately getting caught up in this game, just like this woman. We don't know her story entirely, but she clearly, I mean, the fact that Karoline is being used to kind of drive these headlines, it's obviously a political statement that they're trying to make, that look at, oh, now it's affecting her family and her nephew's mom is being deported, when to my understanding from what we know, he's not particularly close to his mother. His dad has custody, which is Karoline's brother. And like, listen, with this case specifically, there are layers to it. She came here very young. She doesn't really know much of a life outside of living here in the United States. However, she has had nearly 30 years to try and rectify this. However, she did have DACA protections, but DACA is a temporary protection. And they said that her DACA status was threatened back in Trump's first administration. So you already went through one administration. You knew he was coming back into office for a second administration. So you do have time to rectify this. Again, you've been in the country for nearly 3 decades. You've had time to address this. So that's where it becomes challenging, where it's like, again, I don't know her story. To my understanding, there has not been a proven criminal record. They say that there was some sort of battery arrest, but her attorney says that doesn't exist. So I don't know what she's like as, someone living here in the US and how she contributes to, the local economy or her local neighborhood or whatever. But I do think that it's also hard, because then you also have the last administration that just completely opened up the floodgates, let so many people into our country, made such a big mess of it. And it's like, it's comparing it to, a dirty bedroom, right? When it gets so dirty and you don't address it for 4 years and the dust piles up, when you have to go in and clean that mess, it's a really uncomfortable process. You're going through lots of dirty laundry. You're sneezing because there's dust everywhere as you're trying to dust bust it all. And it's an uncomfortable process of cleaning out the bedroom, right? Just as an example. And so I think when the mess has gotten so big and so bad, and you don't want to hold the last administration accountable for that, and then you only want to blame this current administration because now they have to come in, with the steam buster to really do a deep cleaning of the bedroom, that's when it becomes tough, and you have people. I grew up in, a not wealthy part of Los Angeles where there were a lot of immigrants and, a lot of families that were here that were taking advantage of the system, that knew that they were willingly taking advantage of the system, that were taking advantage of welfare, that knew that they were here illegally, that weren't doing anything because they felt like they had ways to get around it. And as long as they were hiding in the shadows, they were fine. And so you have those people that do want to be here that are having a hard time getting their citizenship. And then you have the people that are milking the system. And it's dicey. Sean?
Well, I think like you had stories out and about ICE in Charlotte and how it shut down construction sites because none of the employees were coming to work because they were scared of potentially being deported. And like, you shouldn't be employed if you don't have legal status here. So there are workarounds that they use. They buy people's social security numbers. This is like, if you're here and you're employed, you can't be employed without some sort of legal status or visa. So I don't fully understand how we've gotten to the point where right now we have so many people who are here without any sort of legal right to be here, no visa, no, what do they call it? Residency, even if you aren't a citizen. It's just gotten really bad. I guess my view on it is like, you have to follow some sort of pathway to gain legal status, but also the biggest and most important part is to assimilate. Like, we have issues in cities like Minneapolis and in places like Minnesota because we imported a massive group of people, and these were refugees in some cases, but we basically just allowed them. We said, we have no expectation for you to assimilate into our culture. And now the culture that used to exist there is now gone. And
like eating the dogs and eating the cats. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, that was the biggest reference point that people can at least think about, was the whole conversation about they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. But then if you really get into that, that was the case in Springfield, Ohio, where they imported, 20,000 Haitians into into
Yes.
Ohio, into a small community in Ohio that then began depleting the local resources. And here's the really fucked up part about it is you take Haitian people with a very dark skin color and you put them in Ohio with very, very white people. And there's obviously going to be a language barrier because their primary language was French. Here, they primarily speak English. And it's not like you can say maybe Spanish is a more secondary language here in America. But when you have French and then you have English and you have, very different customs because these people coming from Haiti, their customs are very different. And I know that the conversation was they were stealing the cats and eating the cats and whatever, and it became a TikTok trend, but they have very different customs and very different cultures. You put them together in a small community with a limited amount of resources, what is going to happen? You're going to turn that into a race war because then you have people with a very dark skin color and people with a very light skin color that aren't getting along. And then they're pissed off because the Haitians are like, they're not welcoming us. And then the people in Ohio are like, they're coming and taking all of our resources and they don't know about what, how we run things here. And all that does is create a culture war and then further feeds the racism card.
And this used to be when my family had immigrated here, and I know stories of many other people in my extended family as well. Like when they migrated here to the United States, their parents stopped them from speaking Italian. And it was like, no, we're Americans now. We're speaking English. We're assimilating. They didn't fly Italian flags outside of their homes. They flew American flags outside of their homes. And there is what we have today, one, is a problem that we opened the border and flooded the country. And two, even aside from that, it's that we have created a culture where we say your culture you can bring your entire culture here and you don't have to assimilate into this society, into this culture. And the lack of assimilation is what has caused, like I can remember living in LA and literally going to a Walmart and everything is in Spanish.
Yeah.
In big letters, it's in Spanish. And then under it in English, it's in English. Or under it, smaller letters, it's in English.
I wanted to touch on something really quick that we haven't touched on. I just hope what doesn't happen is it's like a COVID thing where like the only people getting raided and getting rid of their illegal employees aren't the mass corporations that are still using it and the giant employers and giant construction companies. It's like smaller mom and pop businesses, because the reason these corporations are also so pro immigration is not just because of the cheaper labor. The more diverse your workplace is in a corporation, they've studied this, Amazon did, the less likely you are to unionize. So the more different people look and the more different people are and the more diverse workforce is, the less likely they are to speak after work, talk during lunch, unionize, or feel like they have more in common. So it's actually a total money thing too. And I just don't want it to be the thing. They're hammering down on the easy soft targets, which would be small businesses, small owners, small developers, all of that, to make a big show of it. But then we're not actually going for some of the biggest employers of illegal immigrants, which are mass corporations and billion-dollar conglomerates. And that would be really crappy, because we were supposed to be like, America first is like American people first, not American multinational corporations first. I don't consider BlackRock America first.
Agree.
Yeah. I think, again, there are layers to it and there are ramifications of how we do it. I'm not saying that how we're doing it right now is the right way. I think, it's a very bold, strong, and aggressive approach. And sometimes I think you need a bold, strong, and aggressive approach when you've opened the floodgates and created a huge mess. I don't know what the solution is. I'm not an immigration expert. It is hard when you see certain people, you see women and, them showing up at schools, and like that is heartbreaking to watch. I am a human with empathy and with a heart, but also at the same time, when you add in the layers and nuance, and to Sean's point too, my family was raised to want to assimilate here, and we came to America, and to be fair, we have been here for many generations, and we came from our families in Texas, and Texas eventually became part of the US. So context not necessarily relevant information, but I'm just saying that like the intention, even my great grandfather, as he was building businesses here and owning properties and building upon having that American dream that he was creating for his future children, it was also with the intention of not abandoning your roots, but of like, we're coming to America because we want to have the American dream. We didn't come here to have the Mexican dream in the United States. You know, we are going to learn English. We are going to assimilate. We are going to build a life here that's a life that's not Mexico, because there's a reason that we're not in Mexico right now, you know? And that, I think, has gotten lost. And it's not to say that there shouldn't be an appreciation for your culture, but I do think it's you know, strange that you want to come here and wave the Mexican flag. And it's like, well, if you're so that passionate about Mexico, then like, there's the border. You're more than welcome to go back to Mexico. I would never go into another country. I would never go to Mexico. I would never go to Italy. I would never go anywhere else and start waving the American flag everywhere. I wouldn't go to Italy and say, I demand that you only speak English. I'm coming to a country where the predominant language is Italian. I would have to learn Italian, find myself some sort of translator, or do something, whether it's a vacation that's temporary. But if I'm going to be living in Italy, then guess what? You better believe I'm going to be right there, Rosetta Stoning it, so that I know how to speak Italian, so that I know how to order my Aperol Spritz.
I have one more thing to say though about this. It's like everyone keeps saying that like our deportation efforts under the second Trump administration were being so aggressive, and like, should we be doing this or that? And when we actually compare the numbers, under Obama, his in 2012, he was deporting 1,200 people a day. Okay. That was his peak year of deportations. His average, if you take the entire, both of Obama's terms, he was deporting between 800 and 1,000 people per day. Yeah. We are only deporting 800 people per day on average under the Trump this second Trump administration.
Those are rookie numbers.
Meaning that we are deporting, if we're deporting 800 people per day on average under Trump, we are deporting the very lowest end of what the Obama administration had been deporting per day the entire term of the Obama admin. We are nowhere close to hitting his 1,200 deportations per day on average. So like, when we want to talk about how aggressive this is, like, it's only painted as being so aggressive because in this era, everything that Trump does has to be captured by the media, blown up and scrutinized in a way that makes him look inhumane. And the fact of the matter, like, what was it? Was he from Maine? The Maine dad or whatever, who, do you know what I'm talking about? He was deported and they went down and drank margaritas together. David, help me. What was it? Michigan.
Albrego?
Yes, Albrego Garcia. And it's like this, where was he from? Was it Maine?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Maine or something. They label him this dad from
margarita photo op was wild.
And but it's like, in all actuality, like he had committed crimes while he was here. So, and this is what you're going to fight for. But when you actually look at the numbers, you can call it as aggressive as you want. And you can say that it's this like sweeping reform, but like, we're not even touching the numbers that are close. And we just let 30 million people into the country.
Yeah, but why is that though? Like, look at Obama's optics compared to ours. That's why too. I mean, Obama had a friendly media, obviously, so we have to be like super cognizant of that. Well, so it's like every one like mom that we deport at a Walmart parking lot ripped from her child is going to prevent like 100,000 more deportations that we really want to get done. You know, so I just think I don't disagree with any of it. I just feel like we have to be so cognizant of the optics of it because we live in an information war.
We also have to be cognizant of the evolution of media in general. And it's not just mainstream media, right? Like, here's the thing. When Obama was doing it, people were in favor of it because it was figurative, right? Like, I remember growing up with kids whose parents were illegal, and there was a fear of ICE coming and getting them as a kid growing up, watching that play out in high school during the Obama administration. I watched that play out. That was not something that was jarring or shocking to me because it's just something that's what I grew up with in the neighborhood that I grew up in. However, I think in theory, when people didn't see this happening, they liked the idea of immigration because they know logically it's the smart thing to do for our country. However, now what we have is social media. You have TikTok, you have all these videos that people are posting where you're seeing these things happen with your own eyes. And then you have the media that's looking for every sensational story to use against Trump. Because like the reality is Democrats, and I just think most Americans in general had no problem when Obama was doing this. They didn't care. But then you suddenly see the policies and you see the cages, and suddenly it's like, whoa, let's blame Trump for that. When it's like, actually, no, that was an Obama policy that was put into place. This was going on then. You just didn't see it, but you were fine with it because logically you knew it made the most sense for the country. Now your emotions are being targeted so that you're meant to feel something much bigger than it needs to be, because now it's actually in your face, because every time you go on TikTok, your algorithm is showing you these things that you want to see to further validate your, moral human superiority, because you think that you're a better person because you dislike the current administration.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the difference is that, I mean, the biggest part was that the biggest thing that we can point to is the cages. When they were like, look at what they're keeping people in cages. Okay, well, first of all, they're not cages, but yes, like that's what detention looks like. That's what it means to detain someone. But and they're like, look what Trump is doing. It's like, actually, that photo was from under the Obama admin. And you totally you were fine with it and you had no problem. And he's deported more people. I mean, it's just insane. And you go back and look at Clinton too. He was a mass deporter as well. So it's just
Bush is the one that screwed our immigration system, by the way.
Yeah.
Bush was like the main one who got all the people in. So it's like that.
We weren't practicing deportation the way that we needed to, and but so I guess the big issue though is that today the difference is like you can capture these moments and blast them on social media for everyone to see. Like same thing happened with the cages, even though it was Obama's cages, like people still got emotionally triggered by it. So I agree with that. Like the media is changing. But we can't necessarily change the way that we enforce the law because it hurts people's feelings.
When again, you have to add the context of those situations where, like, it may be sad to see the woman at the airport that's being detained, but if she knew and she had an order to leave 15 years ago and was just kind of playing her cards and gambling, then there's a little less empathy I have knowing that she was gambling and knew the risk that she was facing, right? And again, I only know that because I grew up with families like that knew the risks that their parents were facing and deliberately chose to just play their cards. So much so that I was at dinner over the summer. I was at dinner and we were having a conversation about this, and someone brought up that, their sister's husband, he is illegal, also has been here for 30 years, came here as a child, been here for 30 years, does not speak English, not a lick of English. And, and she was just like, my only fear is like for my sister, because her husband may be deported. And I was like, how long has he been here? And they're like, and he's been here since he was a kid. And I was like, oh, really? And he still doesn't speak English, because I've met him. And she's like, no. And I'm like, and that's what makes it challenging. It's like, then he's made no effort to, be part of the American society aside from working under the ground table jobs. And it's like, that's not a life to live. And she's like, and I've talked to my sister and I've asked, like, are they afraid? And they're just kind of like, it's a risk we take. He goes to work, and if he gets, picked up by ICE, then we know that that's the risk that he's taking. And that's just kind of the mindset that they have. And it's like,
And then the failure of like assimilation, because someone that doesn't speak the language shouldn't be able to exist in the country for 30 years comfortably. You know what I mean? Like that's such a failure. Like how are you living, working, schooling, all of that with zero English? And that's a part of it is because of like our education systems and all of that. I mean, you live in California, there are schools that are almost fully Spanish based because of all of the illegal immigrants and the undocumented people that they have to house and support and educate. And that stat like blew my mind. I thought it was going to be something else that was like the most expensive, maybe healthcare or something. That's also a big expense for illegal immigrants. But education was the number one, and it's like billions of dollars. It's a lot of money we're spending on illegal immigrants' education. Because if you think about it, it's also busing, school lunches, all that, books, programs, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a problem, especially while American students are struggling so badly and are at like a second grade reading level in high school. Yikes, So yeah, I don't disagree.
And to clarify, like, I have empathy for all of these people. I also have empathy for all of the people who are living in third world countries who want to come here. But like, we also have to, when you do take a step back and you understand global immigration at like from a conceptual standpoint, like go on YouTube, Google, or search the gumball immigration argument and like watch the video, educate yourself, because it's like there is no amount of people that we can bring in to the United States that is going to even scrape the surface of poverty around the globe. Like the best thing that we can do is force these people who are the best and brightest, who can make their way here, to stay where they are and build their communities where they are, because they are the best and the brightest. Like they should be there to help their communities, not come here and coexist in ours. Like, so I have empathy for these people, and I want these global issues to be solved. But the solution to global poverty is not simply allowing everyone to come live here. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It will never work. We can't help them from here. We need to help them where they are.
Yeah.
And America's more than just a damn economic zone, like for the third world of the globe. You know what I mean? Like we have our own culture, we have our own society that we want to preserve. We're not just an economic zone for people to level up. And my family's an immigrant too. I'm first generation. Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm Russian.
Here with the class. Yeah.
Говорю по-русски.
Mm.
Yeah, I sound a lot more straight when I speak
Russian. Yeah, that was kind of hot.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other closing thoughts, feelings, vibes?
I don't know. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Drink your fruit Pebbles this weekend.
We didn't we did not steal this land. We conquered it. Everyone remember that.
This land is my land.
Yeah.
This land is your land.
Oh.
From California to the New York City.
Everybody.
This year, I am most thankful that we don't have Kamala Harris as president.
That's my God.
Come on, Sean.
No, that's it.
You exist in the context of all of which is and what came before you.
That's correct. And I used that in a tweet the other day accurately. The quote actually does make sense when you break it down.
Okay, go explain.
It's you exist in all
explanatory, yeah.
Why do I have the tweet? I know that I do.
It's like you don't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's also like you think you just fell out of a coconut. Like these are pretty like self-explanatory things, but they also like say nothing at the same time.
It's this. This is how I used it.
It's time to be unburdened by what has been.
One of my vocal stems used to be how she said President of the United States. And she's like, you're going to be the next President of the United States. I was like, it kills me every time. I don't think there was many vowels in that. She's like, you're going to be the next President of the United States.
You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Yeah, I remember American philosophers. Thank you. Like one of the greats. Don't have to remind me. I have it tattooed right. Just kidding.
I used that to say the boundaries of like promiscuity are defined by society, and therefore they change over time. And so like what we view as promiscuous today is what we live. It's right. Like that's the context in which we live, but it's based on all that came before us. So like you go back to the Roman Empire when it was like totally fine to
be gay,
you know, not to be gay.
Yeah,
but it was totally fine.
Still frowned upon,
But it was totally fine to do gay things.
Yeah.
So like it was very
marry gay dudes. You would just suck each other off in the name of like brotherhood.
Only for
Caesar.
pleasure, and for it needed to be casual, but for pleasure, not for you could not have any romantic or like deeper emotional ties to these people. You still were expected, but women were not allowed to do this. This was like a male only thing. And I kind of was like, just saying, like, if you were to place that in today's terms, like, okay, you wake up, kiss your wife goodbye, go to work, go watch the football game with your bros, have an orgy, go home, have sex with your wife, go to bed. Like, we would kind of be like, that's crazy. But there's probably a lot of people who would benefit from that. Because I'm sure that, if you were to poll men between 25 and 40, most of them would say that they're dissatisfied with their sex lives.
So then would you marry a woman if you could still have gay orgies?
Yes.
Well, I don't I don't know. And that's the argument that I was making is like, you can't say. So like, you've got all these straight guys that are going to be like, I could never do that. But like, if you grew up and that's all that you had exposure to, and like, that's what you knew, and that's what was normal, and that's what was socially acceptable, like, you probably would. Like,
Sean's just describing a fantasy. How many times have you tried to convince one of your straight bros to do this? You're like, no, bro, in Rome, I swear. Like, no, in Rome. No, like, come in the shower in Rome. It's just like the Roman baths, you know? He's like, this is a Planet Fitness, put your dick away. Okay.
But the argument, not the Planet Fitness. No, but the argument is just like, from a secular point of view, like, I think that had I been in that scenario, like, things may be different. Like, maybe I would get married to a woman and still, like, I don't know.
Naturally have kids and have like a lovely life and be like the patriarch of a family and also get a little some on the side. Yeah, that sounds lovely. Like, where's the downside,
Like,
baby? Viva
but
la
who's
Rome.
to say? But who's to say? Because I didn't grow up in that. So.
You grew up in the era of gay rights. Just Chillin' says, wow, in all my years between partners is never spoken about this. There are so many other battles. The bedroom is never one of them.
How do you say golden shower in Latin?
I don't know. I don't speak Latin.
Goldus showerexus.
How many languages do you speak?
Fruitus Pebbles. Sorry. Okay.
These sound like Harry Potter spells.
Girl, it's the gladiator.
All right. Well, on that note, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for having us, Zack.
Yes, thanks for having us always.
On, guys. Enjoy. Are you guys eating turkey this weekend? No. Tofurkey?
I am making Cornish hens.
Oh, yum. With your family or with your ex?
I plead the fifth.
Savage.
John!
I plead the fifth.
Oh my God, this is terrible. I cannot believe you.
One day we'll do a Sean relationship history deep dive.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be back here tomorrow. Thursday, there will be a new episode, but it'll be a pre-recorded episode. And then back live again this Friday. Sean and David will be back next week. So go give them some love. Give them a follow. Sean on the right, Merrick and David. Links will be in the description below, so you can click and go and follow them and show them some love in the club. All right, guys. I will... Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good one. Eat turkey, eat stuffing, get stuffed all weekend if you must. I'm sure David might.
Why? Okay, first of all, direct that towards Sean. Okay, Sean's the one in his new era.
I heard it as I said it. I saw you and I said David, and then I was like, no, Sean's actually the one who'll probably be getting some extra toxic stuffing.
We'll see. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Find out more next week.
Favorite. All right.
I love it. Thanks, guys.